All right. So look at my. This is like most of the chase cars I have and trucks, whatever. But start this video by I need to pop open a Monster. I found these at Fry's store out here in Arizona. Trying the juice Monster, whatever the Monster juice. I've never tried these. I've got a few flavors. I got this one. It has like the peach and nectarine flavor. I got the Pacific Punch in my fridge and like the lemonade one. I'm like trying to slowly go through these because I'm trying to watch my sugar intake. I'm trying to get in better shape, but it's kind of difficult right now because being a female is not fun sometimes, and it's been a rough couple of weeks mentally. So, wow, you can really taste that peach. I like it. If you guys want to try that, this is what it is. Can realize it's a lot of sugar, but right now I just need the caffeine because I always feel freakishly tired. Man, ooh, man, do I have a lot to talk about. There's a lot to dissect from that crap shoot of a race last night or over the weekend. Um, Bristol, Bristol, Bristol. The short tracks this year have been very disappointing. Very. Um, it's just not fun. Um, I'll start with the truck race. Like, it wasn't like terrible, but it wasn't good either. It's just drivers like they were just all over the place. Like that whole series just became a fat joke, and it just didn't make any sense to me. That series just is just not fun to watch anymore. To be perfectly honest, like we almost had a first time winner in the truck series, like Carson Hocevar, quirky, like weird guy, like skinny, scrawny kind of dude, wears weird ass hats, which is fine. I like that's his personality. Go for it. Um, he almost came close. He finished second. It's heartbreaking. I feel that on a deep level because Chase went through that same shit in the Cup Series, finishing second so many times, heartbreak after heartbreak. Um, but I feel like Carson Hocevar will break through. He's a damn good driver. From what I've seen, he's been super consistent with his finishes and just overall running progressively well. Um, but Ben Rhodes was just a freaking nature all weekend. Like he was super fast, had a good handling truck, and the Thor Sport trucks have been just like super good. Um, we had three Cup guys in the field, which didn't really make any difference, to be perfectly honest. Um, Joey Logano won the pole from the heat races and whatever. That still didn't make any fucking sense to me. But he drove the 54 truck for David Gilliland Racing, so because Ford. So they had three or four trucks in that in the running. Correct me if I'm wrong, but he finished in the top five or top six. He finished in the top 10. Um, so he was just there to get like more experience on dirt, whatever, for the Cup race, obviously. So he wasn't really going out there to win. He just was getting their experience, like most of the Cup guys have been doing, jumping down to like Xfinity or trucks or whatever. Austin Dillon was in the race. I don't know where he finished, but it was. At first, I thought he was going to do pretty well, but I'm not entirely sure where he finished. because they didn't really show much of him all night. Um, he finished in the top 15, so it wasn't too bad. He started 10th in that race. Top 10 was Ben Rhodes, Carson Hocevar, John Hunter, um, Parker Kligerman, Eckes, Joey Logano finished 6th, and Chase finished 7th. Another Cup guy that people seem to bitch and moan about quite lately. Um, he took the opportunity to get more experience on dirt tracks, um, especially Bristol. Even though he's damn good at Bristol, dirt tracks are so when it comes to him. Um, sorry. But overall, he is not a bad dirt racer. Like people, like like toss him under the rug or whatever, and always like claim Larson to be the only dirt guy that exists when several Cup guys are dirt racers like Briscoe, Bell, Ricky Stenhouse, Bowman, who runs his own freaking dirt racing team. Like, um, Larson. Now Chase is pretty much like partial to dirt racing. There's a handful of drivers out there who have dirt racing background, not just one particular driver. Larson finished in the top 5. There was one point that we thought he was just going to run away with it, and then things just got combobulated, and then it just turned into a shit show, which I'm thankful for, and he hasn't won yet since Auto Club and that stupid race. But Hendrick Motorsports overall was like all over the place in that race, but I'll get to that in a minute. Truck race, it was decent. There was just lack of passing and difficulty passing, which has been the story of these short tracks, which doesn't make any sense to me of why it's been a crapshoot for passing on the short track. Like Richmond was hard to pass, Martinsville was hard to pass, and now Bristol. Like, I don't get it. What is the issue with this package and short tracks? Sorry, I'm just feeling super crappy right now. I'll be like dog doo-doo. If you're female, you know. I feel like a potato. A giant potato as of late. Self-esteem has been, but regardless, squirrel. My thing is I've never been a dirt racing fan. Like, I'm open to it. I'm super open to NASCAR doing whatever they feel like they need to do to bring views in and like new fans, whatever, from the dirt aspect of racing. Props to them for that, and for getting the whole racing last night, because it rained like off and on throughout the entirety of that race. They had 2 red flags and stopped it for it. We thought Swerve was gonna like take it and like declared the winner, but they went back racing and they stopped it again. Then Reddick was up front. It's like, no, they stopped it once, and Briscoe was up front. And then another case, it was Reddick, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna get it first." I went, "Okay, no, we're gonna go back racing." They were super optimistic about getting that race in, and they did, even though it was like super late. But the truck race, it was decent. Ben Rhodes won. And people are blowing up my Facebook right now because I strongly disagree with everything they're saying about Chase. I'll get to that later. This season, I just can't with people. This month has been just freaking terrible, personally, but I'll get to that in another video. Bristol. Not really much to talk about. The truck race, oh my god, how do you get 2 trucks stuck to one another is my question. Matt DiBenedetto and someone else, I can't remember who it was, got stuck together and they spent like good like 20, 30 minutes trying to pry them apart. And Fox, the stupidity that they are sometimes, made the decision, hey, we're going to interview Matt Benedetto. And it was the most awkward and depressing interview I've ever heard in my life. He's found so freaking defeated. I'm like, why would you do that to that guy? Knowing damn well how he was feeling. So that was the only like interesting thing I saw from that whole night. So Ben Rhodes won. Zane Smith got top 10. Overall, it was a decent race. Not good, not bad, just eh. No real passing for the lead. No real major moments that happened. No shocks or surprises. Just the usual BS that you get from the truck series. Cup race, oh my god, that's a different freaking story. So, hold on. Give me 1 second. Alright, I'm back. I need a minute to regroup. Before I get off on a tangent that I didn't want to go on. The race started out okay. Like, nothing special. It was like typical, Larson was leading, won the stage, and blah, blah, blah. It's like the shockers to me, like the finishers of the night, like, was Michael McDowell finished in the top 10, which is weird. Ty Dillon, surprisingly, did rather well last night. He finished 10th. And I thought for the life of me, Austin Dillon was going to make something happen all night, and then his engine just blew up, and he went went straight through the field, and only collected maybe 1 or 2 other cars, which surprised me that no one else got collected because he dropped super freaking hard, and it was just weird. But there was not that many casualties in that race, but Denny Hamlin had an engine issue. Kurt Busch has got caught up in that Austin Dillon melee. And Ross Chastain had an engine issue as well. So not many people exited that race. So from what I recall, let's see, accident. Oh, Harvick. So there was 2 engine issues, Chastain and Denny Hamlin. The accidents that took people out was Yaley, who just gives a shit, Austin Dillon, Kurt Busch, Harvick, and Allgaier. Other than that, everyone stayed pretty like neutral the entire race. One thing that really annoyed me the whole race with still going on right now is the Cody Ware random, I know, and Chase Elliott thing. Like, only because Chase Elliott's involved, people are making a big deal about it. You can see from Daniel Suarez's in-car camera, because Suarez was behind Chase at the time, like in the back, because they had pitted and whatever, in the before the final stage started again. Cody Ware, you could see Cody Ware, I guess, spin in front of Chase and Ricky Stenhouse and Suarez, and Chase had nowhere to go, so he had to push his way through Cody Ware. And I don't know why Cody Ware got pissy over that, because he's the one who spun out in front of him. So that didn't really make much sense to me, why he got pissy. And he's they were thinking, oh, respect for Cody Ware. I'm like, respect for what? He was what exactly did he do to earn people's respect just because you just don't like Chase? I don't get this situation. I don't understand why Chase became the problem when Cody Ware was the whole problem to begin with. um, so, and then like under caution, Cody Ware, you can see Cody Ware from the 99's in-car camera come up and like cause like get in contact with Chase because he was pissy that Chase like got into him. And I'm like, where was Chase supposed to go? You spun out in front of him on the track. Why are you mad? Why are you mad? You're like a 30th place car getting pissy at a championship contending driver. So it doesn't make much sense to me why you got mad. And someone over on Chase's radio went off on Cody Ware, and Cody Ware radio was going off too. It's like, you can be on whatever side you want, but the fact that you're siding with Cody Ware when he didn't. He was just crying for no reason, just to get attention. He was just trying to get TV time. Honestly, that's literally all he did, was just try to get TV time, because it was between Chase and him. And he Chase's most popular driver, champion, drives for Hendrick Motorsports, whatever. Only reason is because he wanted to get his sponsors on TV, get some attention, talking time on TV. That's like the gist of literally everything that went down. But someone on my Facebook, went through Facebook, someone's like, that Chase's background, he like gives the bumper and think that's to someone else and blah blah blah, and drives through people and think that's fine to do, but when it's happened to him, he cries and like whines and complains about it. And I'm like, where does he complain and cry or whine about anyone putting the bumper to him? If they wreck him on purpose, then yeah, he'll say something and he'll be like, what the hell, what the fuck, da, da, da. But when it comes to like just using the bumper for just racing, he's not gonna say anything. He doesn't cry about literally anything. You guys make this shit up in your head just because it's a fact. It's Chase. That's all it is. And no matter the situation, you're always gonna take the other driver involved side over Chase when he was not even remotely at fault for anything that happened last night. So they just assume it's like, yep, Chase was at fault. He's the piece of shit. He's the punk. He cries and whines when nothing goes his way. I'm like, since when? I feel like you're talking about like JGR drivers, more importantly, or Kevin Harvick, because that's literally all they do. They can't dish it out when it's done to them, so they cry about it. And but just because it's Chase, they like to bitch and moan and make up excuses and bullshit that is not remotely true about him as a person or a driver. So, some of these people have no idea what the hell they talk about and think like they know it all, and they think they're superior because they're just trash talking a driver that thinks nothing of these people. So they're trash talking them. So, oh, what the hell's on my leg? I got bug bite. No. Anyway, but that's pretty much the gist of that debacle. I'm still dealing with that bullshit. I'm going up. People, they're just dumb people over there. And I want to get on the case of, back to Alan Gustafson, Chase's crew chief, who continually gets shit on for no apparent reason. Yes, every crew chief makes questionable calls. There's no way around that. But are we going after them for making stupid calls sometimes? No, it's only Alan because it's Chase. Only reason this fan base of Chase's makes us look like crazy psychopaths who are whacked out on something. And I have no idea what we're talking about. I swear to you guys, we're not all that psychotic. We don't claim those people for our fan base. So, at the end of stage 2, Chase needed a pit because there was just no way we were going to get into that race on fuel. They were short on fuel. Handful of drivers literally decided to pit at that time, not just Chase. So people were like, why did he pit? That was another stupid call by Allen, blah, blah, blah. It cost us the race, and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, first off, chill. And second of all, he needed to pit for fuel purposes. And probably new tires. Guarantee. Not like tires really made much of a difference, but just saying, it's like these people don't understand strategy. It's like they're the crew chief, the couch crew chiefs, like feel like they know it all and can do better than the people who have like the mental capacity to actually do that job and are on top of the pit box and have the many eons of experience above the guys, people on these couches just eating chips or popcorn, drinking beer on their couch, thinking they know more than people who have like engineering degrees or former athletes or whatever. Like they think they can do better. Like, yeah, please do better than a championship winning crew chief who's won races with Kyle Busch, sadly, Jeff Gordon, Chase Elliott, and probably other drivers that I probably missed. But that's the gist. He has experience with top drivers. That's why my eyes like whacked out right now. I feel like I'm cross-eyed right now. Super weird. I think it's just because of the lighting, but it was weird. Anyway, so they just go after Allen no matter what the case is. If they want a race, if they did, like anytime this season, they'll be like, yay, Allen did something, woo! Like, go team, the whole team is great, blah, blah, blah. But when they don't win, I have a solid day. We got stage points, still in the points lead, got a top 10, solid top 10, I may add, even though he like progressed with a crappy car to get a solid top 10 finish at the end, where it looked like he wasn't going to. Like, I had doubts, but I wasn't like, be like, oh, fuck Allen, he's terrible, blah, blah. Like, no. Do I question his mentality sometimes? Yes. But I don't go after him and be like, he's a terrible crew chief. Like, all crew chiefs have these moments of where, like, we wonder why they made the call that they made. But you gotta realize these drivers can only give their crew chiefs so much information to what they need in the car or whatever. And sometimes they give the driver the option, like, do you want to pit? Do you not? Whatever. What do you need? That's pretty much the case. But some people don't understand that. And I listened to Chase's radio quite often. I don't think I listened to his radio yesterday because I was at my mom's house because it's Easter. And that was a long, long day. Hot day. It's getting hot here. So, it's Arizona. What do you expect? Early, like late April is when it starts to kick in the summer heat when it's still spring. And summer is not until like June. So we'll be in the heat until about late September, early October. That's how fun it is out here. Not a big fan of Arizona, but here I am. Not saying it's bad, but I just don't prefer being in Arizona. Anyway, so if they don't win a race, they go after his head. If they win a race, they're like, oh yeah, he's such the greatest thing ever, blah blah blah. And it's like, people, can we freaking chill? We need to look at positives out of these races. Like, he's been leading a shitload of laps. Has 6 top 10s at 9 races, so that's good. Even though he has 1 top 5, he has 6 top 10s. He's tied for like the most top 10s in the Cup Series right now. Points leader currently by 3 above Blaney since Atlanta. Like, since Atlanta, we've been the points leader. Realize that. And people still saying and thinking negatively about his team. And, like, will never admit that his car is an issue or there was a driver fuck up, whatever. It's just never that case. It's always Allen. No matter what he does, like, he pits, oh, it's Allen's fault that the rain's coming. Like, basically, they'll blame Allen for the rain. Because that's dumb our fan base is sometimes, majority of the time. So, moving on from that. He's top 10, finished 8th, started 9th, finished 8th, got, 6, 7 stage points, 6 or 7 stage points. I finished it. Cat, what do you need? What? What? Why are you crying? Got nothing to cry about. Can I finish this? Thank you. She's been so needy lately. I don't understand why. What? What do you need? What? 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 I know. I know. I don't know why you're so dirty all the time, but here we are. Hair everywhere. We get a cat? Don't. Because they're dirty. Just specifically my cat, because she has crap all over her. And I just don't know how to get rid of any of this shit. Anyway, the race in general was terrible. But I'm going to get on to the rules of, like, and the stages and freezing the field, whatever, since people seem to not understand this concept after being explained it about 10,000 times over the weekend. Even in the truck race, same deal applies. After the stage ends, like during the race, there was no competition pit stop. So there was no like green flag pit stops, whatever. So at the end of each stage, the field is frozen. Like after the top 10 crosses the line, the field is frozen. The entire field is frozen at that point. After actually, the top 10 gets frozen, then the rest of the field after they come through across the finish line, at the end of the stage, field is completely frozen. So wherever you are on track and you decide to pit, you keep your position there, and until timing and scoring get back underway when you restart. That's how it works. That's what happened after stage 2, which people seem to have been confused because they had red flagged the race because of rain at that point for the first time. Field was frozen. The top, 4 cars pitted. As far as I know, that's the gist of who I know pitted. And so the top 4 stayed the top 4 up until they resumed the race again. And people were like, hey, there's so much confusion with a shit show and blah, blah, blah. Not really. If people understood the first time around, there wouldn't be this much confusion because it's not that hard to understand. It's literally just common sense. Field is frozen up until they go back green and restart. So there's that. It was literally like an ARCA, like what they do in ARCA. Like they have non-competitive pit stops where they have these stage breaks in their races, and they have time, like a few minutes to work on the cars and go back on track and restart where they start. They restart wherever they land because of whoever didn't pit behind those who did pit will restart up front. Pretty much the same gist of like what you would do in a regular race. After stage 2, since considering Kyle Busch did not pit, he became the leader at the end, like at the beginning of the final stage. And whoever was behind him at the P16 moved up, like literally moved up. And whoever pitted restarted behind them. Common freaking sense, people. It's not hard. It's basically like regular racing, like the regular race rules. It's just when the field's frozen, it's frozen up until they go back and restart the race, and the caution flags aren't counted, which they need to do that in regular freaking races because they waste so much damn time under caution. It's ridiculous. They waste so much caution laps. Like during the stage break, the caution laps don't count, but during cautions they apparently do, which makes no sense. But they waste so much time with these caution laps. It drives me nuts. Um, so that's that. It's not hard to comprehend. The fact that these drivers didn't understand anything that was going on really bothered me. This is not NASCAR's fault. It's the lack of understanding from these drivers and the teams that needed to communicate better with each other. Um, so, good God, my phone's blowing up right now. Um, but overall, it's like Jeff Gluck. I don't like the guy because he has a horrid take on racing altogether, and how he has a job with NASCAR, I will never know. Um, but anyway, like he does those weekly polls, like was this race good or not? It's like yes and no. It's like a lot, like not a lot, but like over 70, like probably like 74% of people said yes, which is fine. Like that's their opinion. They thought it was a great race. That was a great race to them. To me, and like probably 45, 46% of other people said, whatever case may be, I don't know, said no. And then when people say no, of course, assume comments are like, the people who say no are probably not a fan of Kyle Busch or whoever didn't win. And like, whoever didn't win, they're like pissy because they didn't win. I'm like, no, you guys make assumptions without actually knowing why we don't like this race. We just didn't think we like it. I personally just don't like dirt racing. And people's like, oh, people just said no beforehand because they don't like dirt racing, don't like the concept. Like, no. I give these races like an open mind, open opportunity. I just simply didn't like the race. It was just terrible to me. I don't give a shit who wins any of these races, to be perfectly honest. And I want to get into Kyle Busch in a second, but I just don't give a shit who wins these races. Like the ending of that race, yeah, that had like a flare of dramatic flair, I should say. And surprise winner, woo, Kyle Busch. He's not really surprised because he's good at Bristol. But his first time winning on dirt, in Bristol, if you get what I'm saying. It was between like Reddick and Chase Briscoe, two guys who were pretty much dominant all night, along with Christopher Bell, who was good but had, I guess, some problems with his car. And he is another dirt ringer. Like he is damn good, and I thought he was gonna be like in the mix at the end, but he wasn't. Chase Briscoe made the conscious effort like of getting into getting into that last corner and just be like, go for it. And he knew he was gonna spin out as soon as he like took that turn and got up into Reddick. Looked like one of those two was gonna win the race, but then Busch was in third. He ended up winning the race. Reddick still finished, I think, in the top 5. I think top 2. I don't remember. But Ted's acting like a freaking psycho right now. But props to Busch. It's take a win any chance you get, which is what I'm going to get into right now. Early in the season, Vegas. Let's go back to Vegas, where caution comes out late in the race, right near the very end of the race. Kyle Busch is leading, and Truex are battling it out for the win. Looks like Busch is going to win this race. Caution comes out because Jones spun out, hit the wall, whatever. Typical late race caution. Nothing of it, right? 300 guys go and pit and get 2 tires. 2 tires stop. They leapfrog the guys who did not pit or got 4 tires, whatever. That was just a pit strategy. Great pit strategy call. Bowman was damn good all day long. Like he had a solid car all day long at Vegas. But people feel like think he like just came out of nowhere and wasn't up there all day. I'm like, people need to realize Bowman, when he got all his wins, one, I can say he did not earn it. Like, like he earned it the way Busch earned his last night, if you get what I'm saying. So this is where I'm going to get to my point. Bowman ended up winning Vegas, beating out Larson and Busch, whatever. Then Busch started running his mouth as he normally does because he's a giant man-child at 36 years old, and likes to troll anybody who beats him, just straight up. Bowman is consistently good driver and gets finishes, solid finishes. He's had like 4 top 10 finishes since Phoenix last month. So has his win, a couple top 5s, whatever. He's consistently good. He's in the top 5 in points right now, so that is good. My point is, Busch is a straight up goddamn hypocrite. No way around it. After that race, Busch went off on the radio about Bowman, like these JGR drivers, like with Hamlin and Martinsville, like saying he's a hack, whatever, who doesn't know how to drive, he's talentless, whatever. Typical JGR BS. When they lose, and they cry about it because they think they deserve it, and get handed on a silver platter. So, moving on to Busch, another JGR driver, was saying like took all skill, like no talent, like no skill, and all luck. No skill, all luck, like all luck, no skill, whatever you want to call it. He backed into a win and what's running like this fucking asshole, like back into a win again, like well, like he just going off throwing F-bombs. I'm like, very classy, dude. You Busch fans are supporting a real winner who's a sore freaking loser at 36 years old. Congratulations on that part. I don't understand how you praise someone like that, but to each their own. I can't follow that. I'll get to their fan base in a second because they're a whole breed in themselves. Not all of them, but most of them. So Bowman gets a kick out of that and thinks, oh, t-shirts. Yeah, so he makes his little revenge and like little trolling thing into t-shirts and profiting out of that and giving that money to charity, whatever, because he loves animals and does all that fun stuff. So he got the t-shirts for his Richmond win, Martinsville, and Vegas, whatever. So we're actually wearing the shirt that says he backed into the win. So fast forwarding to this one where everyone and their brother or mother, whatever you want to say, made the joke of backing into a win. And yes, Busch admitted he backed into this win. But the thing is, he said you take these wins like any way you can, just as long as you're winning them. And I'm like, you realize you're contradicting yourself here, and you're the most hypocritical driver on the planet right now. And like, it's perfectly okay to take any win you can, any way you can, only when it's you. Only when it's you. But when Bowman or anyone else beats you straight up, they don't deserve it. They only backed into it and took all luck and no skill. Someone said it was all skill that he was in the right place at the right time. That doesn't take skill. That was just strategy and having a good car. That's not skill. People need to understand that. That's not skill where you're just in the right place in the right time. And he like Bush, the idiot that he is, posted something on Instagram saying, "Oh look, no skill," and I'm like, "You're a fucking douche. Like, you're a troll." First off, yes, I'm gonna go off with the name calling because he is all of these things. Um, he backed into a win, and then there's one thing I made on Twitter. I said, let me find it real quick because I don't know where these people come from and with what I say. Let's see. Where did it go? Okay, I found it. Sorry, I had to pause that for a second because it's gonna take a minute. I said the whole. So according to Bush, it's only okay to get wins any way you can as long as you're getting them. But when Bush beats him straight up, it's not okay for him to get a win any way he can. And some person that follows me, I don't know why they do, says, him and Bowman are good, right? And I'm like, good now, right? I'm like, where in my tweet did I say they weren't fine? Like, were I talking about him and Bush and their little mini feud that really didn't happen? And they went on site. They had a little banter with t-shirts and moved on. Maybe fans can move on too. I'm like, you need to realize how to take a joke and understand that nowhere in my tweet did I say Bush and Bowman were not good. I didn't talk about them together. I was talking about them separately when it came to winning races. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit about the feud that they had with their t-shirts. It's the fact that Bush made him look like an idiot last night with his comments. So, and someone else was like, "A win's a win, no matter who gets it. A driver to be successful has to have luck once in a while." Yes and no, buddy. Just yes and no. Like, I am not mad that he won. It's just the way he goes about it annoys the crap out of me. He's the same guy who craps on the sport and their decision making and still goes on about his day, winning the race that he crapped on. And it's like, why do we support that kind of bullshit? Why? I don't understand why NASCAR lets him get away with anything he possibly can. He's a grown-ass man, a veteran in the sport, 60 wins, great achievement. I am not knocking him on his driving ability. He's a damn good fucking driver. Damn good. I respect him for that. I can't respect him as a driver. Or his personality, because he has a personality of like a freaking rock. He's dumb as a rock. So, and the thing is, people who follow him are like, he gonna do whatever he wants and say whatever he wants, and anything goes for him because he's got 60 wins. So until Bowman has that, he can't say anything. Like, he can't do anything. He can't back into wins like Bush can. It's only okay for Bush to back into wins and be fine with it because he has 60 wins. Like, yeah, because he's been in the sport for how long? He's been in it for fucking forever. He got parked one time because he drove through somebody into a freaking wall in the truck series. And no one bats an eye after that. And it's like, anytime he cries and moans and whatever, people praise him for it. I'm like, why? Why do we enable the bullshit with Kyle Busch? But show everyone else when they show any kind of emotion. And I want to get to this thing, like Briscoe and Reddick had a conversation up here at Road. People were like, oh my god, drama. No, there's no drama. There was literally no drama. It's Bristol, and there was no freaking drama after the race, which baffled me. It's just I think they're just two very vanilla plain boring personality drivers. Plain and simple. People are like, oh, this is such respect coming from Briscoe, going up to him and apologizing and that's a great and all, but as NASCAR fans, that's not what we go for. I'm not looking for like fist fights and that kind of drama every single week when it comes to like short track racing or whatever, but it's like, oh, that's much respect. But I'm like, the thing is, Reddick is never going to win a race if he's going to continue being such a softy and let people run all over him. He's basically Chase in his early years of Cup. You got ran over so many times, play the nice guy, try to be like, play respect and be super soft and make sure everyone liked him, which is basically the case here. I'm like, if I was Reddick, I would have been pissed off. Like, I pissed off that I lost because someone got into me. But they're like, oh, it's just racing, blah, blah, blah. But anything else, it's like, we're World 3. But anyway, that's just me. It's just two plain vanilla soft drivers that I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it. And they were kind of compared to last week's like drama with the Xfinity Series and the fight that happened on pit road. I'm like, that's called a short track racing. Like last week, it was like buildup of emotion that's allowed to happen, but you're saying that's like someone posts like maturity, like this and this, like maturity. I'm like, how is fighting on pit road a lack of maturity over someone just like apologizing, running over them on the last corner of the last lap? Both are acceptable, and both, I don't know. I don't understand people. Like, they want the drama and the fights and but they're like, oh, this is much better because they're being respectful. I'm like, when did this fan base get so fucking soft? Why are we so damn soft? Like, you want the dramatics, but you don't want, I don't know. This fan base does not know what they want. And people just trying to force people to like a race that they don't, just for sake to everyone to like what they want them to like. I'm like, no. Like, when we vote on that poll and say no, we have a reason behind it. It's not because Kyle Busch won. Like, I don't give a shit who won. If I don't like the race, I don't like the race. Plain and simple. It had nothing to do with my driver not winning. We got a solid top 10. I'll take it. We're in momentum. We're still a points leader, and I'm okay with that. We're good. We're having a good start to our season. Overall, we're having a good start to the season. Some people might not think that, but that's just basically on them. But overall, I just did not like Bristol on dirt. It was just bad all the way around. And you can't change people's minds, try to force people to say and admit to liking it when they just truly, truly don't. It's okay to have differences of opinion, people, and not go after them, shit on them, to make them, force them to say that they like something that they don't. It's like people shitting on me because I don't like Larson or Busch or all these other drivers that are problematic within the sport that I don't like and they seem to love. That's that. I want to get into like the overall points right now. It didn't really change too much. Chase stayed the points leader. Brian Blaney is still second with 3 points behind because he's like basically neck and neck with how Chase is running right now. Then you got Joey Logano, who's 21 points behind. I thought he would take over the points because of how he finished and how he ran all night. And then Byron, he finished 18th, but still top 5 in points. Bowman moved up from I think 7th to 5th because he got a top 10 finish. And he's tied with Kyle Busch for top 5 in points. So, after that, his win. So, and then you got Truex. Chastain is in 8th. Larson moved up to 9th, but I feel like he's going to move down after next week because Talladega is terrible for him. Then we got Briscoe's in the top 10. Reddick, Almirola rounds out the top 12 and Harvick's 13th, Cindric, Christopher Bell, and Suarez. That's the top 16 as of right now. And poor Kurt Busch is having like, I don't know. And Denny Hamlin's still just having a crappy year, which I don't really mind. So, and with the manufacturer, Chevrolet's still on top with 5 wins this season. Like 4 of them coming from Hendrick and 1 coming from Chastain, Briscoe, and who was the other Ford that won? Oh yeah, Cindric, and then Toyota with Busch and Hamlin. So, either way, Ford and Toyota are tied in that case. So, anyway, I'm gonna stop talking now. We're gonna head to Talladega next week. So depending on how I feel next week, because the last 2 weeks have been absolutely crappy, I'm gonna make another video on my personal life after I upload this one. So that'll be something that I'm not prepared for, but I'm gonna do it anyways, just to get some things off my chest, because it's been a little bit stressful. So I hope everyone has had a good day, and I gotta get off because my obnoxious neighbor with a motorcycle is home, and it's just gonna bother me. So